Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an e-commerce and FBA business for sale in the apparel and accessories niche. Created in March of 2011, this business makes $21,164 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the business is 44472. We do this interview to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Robbie, thank you for coming on here today.
Hi Jake, how you doing?
Good. I appreciate you taking the time. How are you doing today?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Just gonna walk my dogs. The joys of an e-commerce business. You know?
Well,
it's
awesome.
Time in the day.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, about how much free time you have in a little bit. But before we dive into the questions that I have for you, I want to go ahead and run through a little quick summary of the business.
Yeah, no.
The business, again, was built in March of 2011, has a monthly revenue of $60,719, expenses of $39,554 to make for a net profit of $21,164, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business, and stick around, there's a lot of them, all product designs, files past and present, main Shopify website, several lead generation landing pages, several domains for potential future landing page use, all social media accounts, Vimeo Pro account, email list, Facebook ads, all data and history for the ads and campaigns spanning over 12 months of active Facebook marketing, all sales history, data, contacts spanning for 7 years, Google AdWords account, Google Merchant Center account, Google Analytics account, Amazon Seller Central accounts, eBay account, Fulfillment Center account, UK trademark, wholesale accounts, product sourcing, wholesale account with UK company, and all supplier contacts in China, past and present. Please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price. Further details can be provided to active depositors. Robbie, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, sure. So I started online when I was 11, selling Pokemon cards at school. So I would, stitch the kids up, tell them that they were good, the ones I was selling them, then get the good ones and sell them on eBay. That was my initial delve into online sales. So since then, I've done various different things. I've been into affiliate marketing, like ClickBank and such, CPA marketing, Google AdSense sites. So, driving the traffic to it and arbitrage the click costs, that sort of stuff. Done web design for people, various different marketing stuff, online, offline, that sort of thing. So this particular business is my main one, which obviously I started when I was 23. Hit the big 3-0, going grey, don't know what's going on. But in between that, I've had various other businesses as well. I won't name names, but I've done sort of like detox products, other fashion and apparel products, mobile phone accessories. That was quite good on Amazon, but it is hard. Lots of competition. So I've basically ditched everything I've been doing apart from this one business, which over the 7 years it's been running, it's been the one thing that it just stays constant. I got into it because I was selling a similar product, which I actually drop shipped from China before drop shipping was a thing. So it seemed like the right thing to do, send a spreadsheet of orders to a Chinese supplier and have them send it out. So I was doing that for a while, realized there was money in it, and obviously I was making quite good money. So I set up this business with the money I've made. I started my own brand. And initially we actually toured the UK and we built it like face-to-face sales. So we would go to all the different events, set up a stand, create a buzz. We made lots of different videos. We had one point we had, do you remember those morph suits that everybody was wearing for a while? Do you remember those?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I had like a team of those guys. They were free runners, so they would be wearing the product and they'd be running around the event doing backflips and jumping off walls and doing cool stuff and just bringing in the crowd. So we did that for a year or two. That was good. And yeah, so we just basically so we built it offline to start with, had an online presence as well, and it just built from there, really.
You mentioned that you kind of stopped doing everything else that you had been doing other than this business. So that makes me wonder why you've decided to sell this business today.
I mean, we had our first child 7 months ago. So that was sort of like, I've hit 30. It's like, I think I'm getting like the 7-year itch as well. It's like that. I think that is actually a thing if you Google it. So, I mean, I could carry on. If we don't sell it, I've got lots of plans on what I would do to continue growing it. Like this past 12 months, I've seen explosive growth of like 3 to 4 times what we've been doing over the past sort of 5 to 6 years. And that's solely basically because I've realized that all these other things I was trying to do, I was spinning so many plates that I kept dropping the plates, but this one just stayed true. So I thought if I just, I ditch everything else, I got bought out of various other companies I was in, and I just focused solely on this one. And since then, like I say, I've put all my time into it, which, by the way, isn't actually that much time. It's, to start with, it was quite a lot, but now it sort of runs itself quite a bit. And yeah, so, I mean, the reason for selling really is, to be honest, I want to get into property as well. And I feel like I could do other things alongside that as well, you know what I mean? Like I can keep this running as it is. So it's one of those things, like, it's a nice time to sell because it's got such explosive growth and I can see it going places. It feels like I've proven to myself that I can grow it, which I have done, and now I can grow it more, or I could pass it on to someone else to grow it how they want to grow it,
Mm-hmm. And you have a lot of different revenue streams for this business. There's a lot of them. There's eBay, Amazon FBA. Can you kind of walk through how exactly this business makes money primarily?
Yeah, sure. So it's mainly B2C, so business to customer, direct sales. Our main source of revenue is our Shopify website, which we send traffic to that from Facebook and Google. It's a very good word of mouth product because as people use it and sort of get the benefit or whatever from it, they do tend to tell their friends quite a lot. So we find that a lot of our sales come from word of mouth. We do have a refer a friend program, which works quite well, brings in passive income, which is nice. And that's something that could definitely be worked on as well. Like you could either do a full blown affiliate program. You could even go down the network marketing route if you added more products to the business. We've only really got the one type of product split across 3 or 4 different styles, but there's lots of other things you could add. I've put lists of products that I would potentially add to the business, which you could then obviously build out like a full blown network marketing style business if you wanted to. That's a whole other thing, which obviously takes a lot of management. You'd have to put a team involved to make it work properly. But yeah, so I mean, day to day money mainly comes from Shopify. Amazon does its own thing that just ticks on. eBay, actually, I said one of the things when I spoke to George initially was that I wanted to get eBay working again because I neglected it. So I thought before I sell, I'll get that running up again. So I listed a load of stuff and did some SEO and whatnot. And that's bringing in about $5,000 a month at the minute, which isn't obviously massive compared to the rest of the business, but it's a nice extra boost. So you could obviously monetize that further. So I mean, the majority of the traffic comes from Facebook. And I've toyed around with Facebook for years, but like I say, when I ditched everything else, I made a concerted effort to focus on traffic because that was always my main downfall. I could make a cool looking thing and a cool looking brand and whatnot, but I never focused and I never bothered learning how to do traffic properly. So I sacked the Google AdWords guy we had and I took that on myself, which when I focused on it, I did make a good improvement on that. We get a lot of traffic from that, about 6 times ad spend from Google, which is quite nice. So you could obviously scale that more if you worked on it and went worldwide. So Facebook, we basically funnel all the traffic from our ads through landing pages. So we never send direct to the site because I found that it just doesn't convert very well, or it's a lot harder to convert because you're sending cold traffic to a thing they've never seen. So we sort of have a warming up process where we send them to a various landing page based on whatever we're targeting them for, which means actually we can target lots and lots of different verticals, create a page and an email flow based on that specific thing they're trying to fix or whatever. Build a list. At the minute, our list is growing each week by about 1,500 to 2,000 leads a week. We do about 800 orders a week at the minute, 600, 700, 800 orders, and that depends if we do some emails as well. So I would say a third of those leads end up buying the product, and that's all through our warming up process. So we go through a landing page, collect the data for a discount, then they go to the page to buy the product. But in the meantime, we're sending them emails, reviews, and stuff on the product. We've got over 3,000 good reviews as well, which for the particular niche we're in, I believe we have the most reviews of any product, of any brand out there, which is quite nice. And we get more every day. That's obviously, it's an automated system so that the emails and the reviews are building themselves. So yeah, so like I say, mostly landing pages that bring the traffic. Our SEO is good. We rank for quite a lot of different keywords. eBay and Amazon do their own thing. They tick on. And I find the more we spend on Facebook and Google, the more we make on eBay and Amazon as well, obviously, as people shop where they prefer to shop, which is quite nice. The other thing we do as well is we funnel traffic from our main website to our Amazon.com listing, to our page where they can obviously buy the products. Because we're based in the UK, we send everything from the UK, which if you wanted to grow the USA, you could obviously set up fulfillment over there. But what we tend to do is send traffic to our website, and then based on the IP, we forward them to the Amazon.com listing. So we find when we relaunched Amazon.com a couple of years ago, we started doing this and we were instantly able to jump to the top of the thing because we had so much traffic coming from the USA anyway. So that worked out quite good.
So when you talk about how successful the Facebook has been for you, how exactly successful has it been? You say all of your traffic comes. How many followers do you have on Facebook?
Got about 31,000 organic sort of likes on Facebook. We don't focus on posting on Facebook at all. We used to do it all the time, sort of like 2-3 times a day. But since Facebook obviously changes all the time and they want you to spend money, all we focus on now is our paid advertisements. So we spend between sort of £800 and £1,000 a day at the minute, which brings in anywhere between sort of like £2,000 to £4,000 in sales on our website. But like I said, the extra traffic we get from that, people do shop elsewhere as well. So overall, we see a decent return on ad spend from Facebook.
You mentioned that you are doing all of this work trying to grow the traffic yourself. So what exactly do you do? What are all of your roles with the business?
So my role mainly at the moment is I just do the marketing and email marketing. I do product design if we need a new product. We've done the various different products that we've got. They're quite easy to design because you can just design a flat file, send it to the manufacturers we use, and they'll turn it into like a 3D model and then create the mold from there. So you don't actually need to be overly technical with the design. You can sort of give it a 2-scale idea and they'll then turn it into reality, which is quite nice. And they do that for free as well, which is cool. So I mean, day to day, so mostly like this morning before I chat to you, I check the Facebook ads, a quick 10-15 minutes on that, which really all I'm doing is pausing any ad sets that aren't working, duplicate the good ones, do a few little tweaks here and there. And the ads that we've created have worked now for nearly 12 months without really changing them. So it is an evergreen product. You can put an ad out there, spend a bit of time making the ads, and it can take a few hours to create an ad, create a video. I do that myself as well, but you could outsource it if you wanted to. Yeah, so create the videos, create the ad sets and the targeting and whatnot. That can take a few hours, but general day-to-day running is 10-15 minutes, check the ads, check what's going on. And there are tools that you can use to automate it as well. I just quite like, because it's the main, if you mess it up, you can lose money. So I quite like just checking it, making sure it's all going good. And the emails are all outsourced to, we've got a Filipino VA, which she does really well. She's been with us for about 2 years now. She's actually going to stay with us and move on to new projects, but she's happy to train up either the buyer or the buyer's VA on, how she replies to people and whatnot. There's a few, we use a LA desk, which is like a support agent program, which we can include that with the sale, or maybe it might be better to set up a new one if the buyer wants to, or set up their own system. But we've got, predefined messages, we reply to general questions and whatnot. So like I say, so my main role daily is basically just Facebook ads, check if Adelaine needs any help, any questions, which to be honest, she rarely does. Maybe the odd one every few days she might ask, get stuck with. And that's it really. I've actually put 7 hours a week work on the listing. But to be honest, if you streamlined it more, like I say, I can not touch this business for a week, 2 weeks, and nothing really changes. And the Facebook ads at the minute, it's only because I've launched new campaigns and new ad sets that I'm looking at it more. And it's, I can go 2-3 days without actually looking at it at all. So the only other thing I do is obviously keep on top of stock, which again, you could outsource to a VA. The Chinese manufacturers actually, they do hold some of our stock for us. So we can send it to the various fulfillment or to Amazon as we need it, which is quite nice. And also the wholesale accounts that we do have, there's only a couple and they don't buy that much. Rather than it coming into the UK and then we sending it out, we ship it straight from there. So she's good, our supplier. I've worked with her for about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. And there's a few different ones we work with that I source various different elements of our products from. But I tend to have her as like the main, our main go-to, as she's very good. So obviously you'll get her with the sale.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned that it's an evergreen product, but if you take a look back over the last 12 months, you notice that last June and then coming into this summer, it's significantly higher than the rest of the year. So what causes that difference in profit level for the summer months?
Last June, we actually did a friend of mine actually suggested that we try this particular niche to launch an ad on. So I made a video that afternoon, put it up. It was a graphic problem, basically. So I used the graphic images that I found on Google, put them into a video. That was like sort of end of May time, which is where we see a spike in sales. And within a few days, the video actually started to go viral. And we ended up with on one ad, we had about 5 million views. I think in total, we had about 10 million views roughly in this particular niche for the same product. Obviously, because I said you can target different verticals based on how you spin, how the product works. So yeah, so that profit came from that because we spent hardly anything on ads. And the way Facebook works and the viral nature of the ad just flooded us with sales. So that particular month is obviously pretty high in terms of net profit. So if you worked, on finding more viral type making more viral type videos and finding other niches to do this in, you could hit gold, you might not. You may not hit gold, but the 2 or 3 general niches that we've got, which we target all the time, they've time and tested, they work over and over again. So the summer months particularly are always quite busy because of the type of product it is. There's an active element to some of the niches we target. So as people obviously get active and get out there is the summer tends to be quite good. And obviously as we target the UK mainly, we see seasonal trends in the UK. But if you targeted other languages and targeted properly in other countries, so set up fulfillment in other countries, maybe had region-specific websites as well. There's lots of things you could do to make that traffic, the seasonal benefits that we see, they could happen all year round, which it does, to be fair, anyway. But yeah, you could definitely make a more concerted effort to target the seasons and what people do in those times.
That's definitely an opportunity for a new owner to grow the business. What are some of the other opportunities for growth that you would take advantage of if you were to keep the business?
So if I was going to keep it, I would definitely go down the route of adding more products. We found that about 18 months ago, we added a more expensive product, which is £60, which we do discount. We sell it for an average of about £48. The markup on all of our products are very good. We tend to aim for around 10 times what we pay for it, which obviously gives us lots of room to spend on ads. Like, we do actually spend quite a lot on ads, but we've got the margin, we've got the space to do that, to grow our base. So I would find, I know what products I'd add. It's just physically getting the money. If I was going to keep it, I would get more investment and grow it that way. I'd get more different products as one thing. I'd go worldwide on all of our ads more. So we are targeting all different countries with our advertisements, but like I say, mainly the majority is the UK. So there's massive scope, obviously, with the hundreds of millions and billions of other people out there for us to find. And I do feel like probably the best way to do that would be region-specific sites. In the past, we've had various wholesalers come in and work with us. We had one in India a few years back who actually was very good. He worked for L'Oreal, and he wasn't anything high up in L'Oreal, but he worked as like a marketing guy for L'Oreal, and he was good at getting products into magazines and that sort of thing. So we actually had part of the Indian Olympic team wearing our product for a bit, which is quite cool. So you could get region-specific distributors on board, target retail more. We've done retail in the past. Right at the very beginning, we actually had the product in about 50 shops, which I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. I got a rep on board, paid him a commission, and he went around, put the product in. It was one of those things that was new to that particular niche, and it didn't really sell very well in that niche. If I was to do it now, I know exactly where I would target and how I would do it, which, if I keep the business, then I would definitely get a team or a rep on board, get some proper retail displays made up, and put the product into retail properly. Because obviously there is money in retail still. It's just whether you want that, if you want the headache of looking after wholesale accounts, but if you hire someone to do it, it's not your problem, is it? So there's that side of things. Definitely grow the refer a friend side and the affiliate side. There's money to be made there. I would grow the other Amazons. At the minute, we're only on Amazon.com in the UK. I'd translate all the listings. I'd probably even go as far. If I was going to do it, I'd do it properly. So I'd translate the products and the packaging as well. So I'd do France, Germany, Italy, Spain on Amazon. We do sell to all those countries on our website. So I'd probably make a region-specific site again as well for each language. And we've only ever done English. So if I was going to grow it, I'd do all of it. Get out there in all the different countries, different languages, that sort of thing. I'd keep going with Facebook. At the minute, I haven't stalled, but I've stopped trying to chase new niches and as such. Just in that, when you chase a new niche initially, you may lose money to start with before you hit the sweet spot. So as we're selling, I want to keep that net profit, the average net profit sweet. So I'm just maintaining sort of thing. I'm maintaining, it's growing nice as it is. I don't really need to touch it at the minute. I will still do 100 grand this month in dollars sales, roughly. We've done about 50,000 so far. We're halfway through the month. So with a few email campaigns that we'll do towards the end, we've got a Father's Day promotion going up today. So we can hit those. We can keep that net profit nice and sweet without, chasing anything new, really. So that's what I'm doing with that. Yeah, so summary, new products, new regions, languages, eBay, retail. There's other products in retail like this which do very well. So if you did retail properly, all the products are in retail packaging. You could change it slightly for retails. All the packaging is made to be cheap and light to send. So if you wanted to do retail differently, maybe you could change it up a bit. But, So that's what I do basically. I'd grow with other channels, other products, and keep testing new niches, new verticals to find new customers.
Do you feel like there are any significant risks associated with this business that a potential buyer should be aware of?
Not particularly. I mean, the only real thing that I've found is if you try and spend too much on Facebook sometimes. I've had days where I've spent $2 or $3 grand and I didn't keep on top of it. So for me, I got excited. I saw what I'd done with 500 and 600 and 700 and 800 and £1,000 budget. So I've had days and weeks where I've spent quite a bit, and you'll see in the net profits for some of the months where that's obviously apparent. The beginning of this year, for example, I tried to do stuff and tested various things that didn't work for me, and that obviously knocked the net profit down. But I mean, in terms of risks, there isn't really any risks, to be honest. The product is pretty much unchanged since we launched. We've only really had the one type of product. We've tried other different sort of gimmicky products alongside, but the minute we've sort of found we know what sells now. I've tested various different things in the past. I know what sells. So we're just sticking true to the one type of product we've got and the various other products which are on my list to go for. So risks for the new owner, if just don't change too much. You come in and rip stuff to bits and change it and whatnot. But what we're doing works. On average on Facebook, we get about 3 and a bit times ad spend on our money. So that's nice. Some of the ads do really well, 15, 20 times what you spend, but I would just keep things as it is for the interim. Test slow, don't rush it. And I think that the business should stay true. It's been my sole breadwinner for me and my wife for 7 years now. So everything else I've done, I've lost money on. I've put money in to the detriment of this business because I've taken money out of it to fund new things, thinking that it's the next, the grass is greener type mentality. And it hasn't been. So, this just works. It does itself. It's got the data and the history out there. It's got the brand, which powers it. There's other products very similar to ours out there that are much cheaper, which people could buy, but we've got the brand. We are one of the most expensive products in this niche. Range is a lot more expensive than similar products. And obviously with our unique products that we make as well, obviously the ones that we design ourselves, that helps us differentiate from other people. So risk-wise, I think I could say there's no risk. There is a risk, everything could change tomorrow, but it's worked for 7 years and it's been good for that amount of time. So yeah.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I'm thinking, right, I've got to finish my house. I've got to do this sort of stuff. Don't touch it, Rob. Just sit back, let it run, because it runs itself, sometimes I find if I don't touch it, it works better. Like my Facebook ads at the minute, I've taken a back seat on it a little bit. I was hell bent on making it grow and making it spend more money and making it do whatever. So I was launching various campaigns, doing this, that, and the other. And I was spending it, a bit more time than I am now. But it works nice when you just sit and let it do its thing. And you'll find you'll have days where you'll do 3 or 4 grand for no reason. It just does it. And then just think up an offer. Like there's this one particular offer we do, which I tell you when you deposit, you see what it is. Which I'll tell you roughly. It's basically we had some product come in which was damaged. So we have replacement boxes. It's only the boxes that were damaged. So we were going to sell them, as it was just before Christmas. And I thought, actually, now I've got the email list, which, like I say, grows by about 1,500 people a week, roughly. So that's, it's a decent revenue stream. And we basically I put it out there, I only had 20 of them for sale. So I put it out there, said there was only 20 for sale, put it live, sent the email out, and we sold them all within about 10 minutes. So the product itself is actually it's a £60 product. So we discounted it to 50 with the damaged box. So they got snapped up instantly. So I was thinking, why don't I just put them all? Why don't I just put unlimited stock? So we had hundreds in stock. So we just let it run. So that night we did 150 of that particular product. And that was sweet. That's a decent nut. That's 6, 7, 8 grand's worth of stuff overnight. And I was like, this is a good idea. So I left it. I put it out of stock. So people had, they saw that it ran out. So they're like, oh shit, we missed out. And then 2 weeks later, I did the same thing again. We had another delivery, DHL, down that DHL, damaging our stock. It's the sort of headline that I used. And same again, we did 150 of these things that we were selling. So ever since then, I've done it pretty much every 2 to 4 weeks. I send the email. I did one just the end of May. I did one, and we did 9 grand that night, £9,000. So that's about $13,000 just from our list. And like I say, it's the same product, the same email, even the same crappy picture. We took a really bad picture on a table of some smashed up boxes, and it's just finding ways to just create that buzz and that scarcity feeling to the list. The list of people is gold. I would say probably brings in a third of our revenue over the year, which as it grows, obviously that increases. So just thinking up these ideas, and there's these, like I say, these evergreen ideas that we have which work over and over again. Like I'll run the damaged box one probably end of this month, and it'll do the same again.
Just a little bit of a money-making machine here. So speaking of that, it's kind of interesting to think about, but over the last 7 years, you have built a multi-$100,000 business, right? This business was valued at $850,000. So what advice would you give to our listeners if they want to start out that you wish you had known when you set out to build this business?
I'd say just learn, just keep learning all the time. Like I used to think that I knew what I was doing with, Facebook ads and whatnot. And I had no idea really. I was just messing around, pushing the boost button and it didn't work. So I left it and I thought that was that. Starting out with, if you're going to make a brand, focus always on the customer. So we focus heavily on the customer. If there's a problem with the product, it doesn't matter if it costs us money to fix it or, if they need a new one or if it goes missing or whatnot, just always focus on the customer because customer service at the end of the day is builds the business. Our average repeat customer is about 25%, which spreads out over the year. So, we go, a quarter of our customers come back more than once, which is nice. Yeah, so just focus on the customer. Try not to do everything. I would say if I knew that now, like I was doing emails for 5 years. Like what was I doing? I always knew I could get a Filipino worker, an employee, for like $4 an hour, but I never did it. So take action is another thing. Take action, free up, value your time. Don't sit in front of the computer for 12 hours a day because it won't make you more money. Just outsource things you can't do. If you can do it to start with and you don't have the money, then do it. But once you get to a point where you can outsource, then definitely do that. Emails, you don't want to do emails. Don't deal with customers because, to be honest, all customers are, not all of them, but they are arseholes. Sorry, it's a little bit of swear. It's the British in me. I like to have a little bit of swearing. But you'll get people coming along with, and everything revolves around that one problem, that one issue that they've got right there and then, and nothing else matters. But it's such a small issue, and people get so angry about stuff. So but those you can turn those people around. With decent customer service and whatnot, they can be your best friend come the end, and then you'll have them saying sorry and whatnot. I've had people send me cards in the past because they were such idiots on the phone. So just build your brand around customer service. If you're on a phone call to Jake, try not to waffle as much as I do because it takes up lots of time. And I reckon, is that a good answer? I don't know.
Honestly, man, you could say, is that a good answer? But you're the one who did it. You're the one who built an $850,000 business. So, man, here to learn from you. So customer service, very important. Definitely take note of that.
Lots of channels. Don't discount eBay as being dead. If eBay did you well in the past and you think it was dead, don't discount it because that's just added, $60,000, $70,000 again to our business for the year just by taking some action. It doesn't even take that long. So another thing is don't dwell on stuff. Just go and get it done. It doesn't need to take hours and days of your life to get something up there. I say that I've only done 2 Amazons. I should be doing all the Amazons, and it's just one of those things. You just got to practice what you preach. And when I've taken action, which I've proved last year, I was happy making the money we were making. It was enough for us to have a nice house. And, my wife doesn't work. She has the kid now and whatnot. I do work very hard, but the time I spent, we've just done our house top to bottom, renovated our house, which, I had great fun doing that. And in the meantime, the business is paying for everything that I'm doing. So don't spend too much time on stuff. Like I found if I go out and walk the dogs for a bit and, just enjoy life and then work in the night, you don't need to work 9 to 5 on something, and you don't need to work continuously either because you'll burn out and get bored with it. And I think that's true. Maybe that's not true for every business, but for, smallish online brands, you can run these things. Like I still run this from my house. A lot of my friends have had businesses where they've gone and they've rented a unit, they've rented a warehouse, and they've gone and got stock. They've all gone bust within a year because something happens. They don't pay the tax bill properly, or the VAT man comes along and they don't have it because they've got to pay the staff they've employed and all this sort of stuff. I've kept it relatively small. Like nobody knows that it's just me sat next to, I've got my 3 screens in front of me, my fish tank next to me, which is where I'm sat right now. And, I'm looking out in my garden and it's nice, but nobody knows that. People think we've got a marketing department and a dispatch team and whatnot. We've got me, some women in the Philippines, and a fulfillment center, and you can run that. You can make, like this year we'll probably do, I think we're on to do £500,000-600,000 in revenue. from a desk, from a back room in your house. You don't need all the flash stuff. And if people think you do, you don't need all that. Just keep it small, Don't try and go and get an office and be big. And none of it matters, because at the end of the day, I drive around in a nice car, which actually I don't own. I lease as well, which is perfect because it means my money's freed up. And, then people don't think you work. They're like, oh, when are you going to get a real job, Rob? Are you still selling those silly things that you sell? I'm like, well, yeah, because look at me. I got a day off and I'm playing with my kid today, and you're not. So,
I mean, very, very passive, easy to run business here. I mean, Robbie, we could go on and on about this business, but I think at the end of the day, you've built something that is a money-making machine that you don't need to put much time in. Isn't that just incredible?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always wanted, from the years of watching. I don't know if anyone's into the internet marketing space, like Frank Kernel, the big marketers. We're always, I always followed them. I always bought all their courses. I spent thousands on courses. And at the end of the day, the money always seemed to come down to that they were the ones making the money, teaching everybody how to do it. And not very many people actually go and do the things that you learn. So, just when you learn stuff, just put it into action, because you can make it work. And this is, proof that it can work. It does work. The particular product, easy to send product. It's small, it's light, it's easy to store. The markup's ridiculous. It's an evergreen niche. And yeah, it is a machine. And the email list particularly, I'll just log in quickly now and just quickly see what we're on today. But like I say, it grows several hundred a day, which is nice.
Robbie, would you commit to a non-compete?
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't want to start again in the same niche just because A, it's not really fair, and B, I've got other ideas that I want to pursue. I want to, like I say, I want to go into property, this, that, and the other, and I will do something else online without a doubt, because I love the buzz of, making it, scaling it, and I quite like the idea of making it, scaling it, and selling it. That is a nice thing to do. So yeah, so definitely no compete is fine with me.
How much support would you be willing to offer a new owner during the transition period?
As much as they need, really. I said that in the write-up of the business. If in a year's time, if you've got a question, then just, fire it away. I'll be here. My VA will be on hand for a good, few months to train up the new person that they decide to hire, or if they want to do it themselves, the emails and whatnot. So support-wise, I'm here as much as you need it,
Are you open to discussing something like an earn-out?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, it's not one of the biggest businesses on Empire Flippers, but it's not one of the smallest. So I understand, there may be a period of monthly payments or however it works. Yeah, we could definitely look at it.
Robbie, I have another question for you, but before we get to that, I want to go ahead and run through a little quick summary of the business here.
Yeah, sure.
So the business was built in March of 2011, has a monthly revenue of $60,719, expenses of $39,554 to make for a net profit of $21,164, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are all product designs, main Shopify website, several lead generation landing pages, all social media accounts, Vimeo Pro account, email list, Facebook ads, all data and history for the Facebook ads, all sales history and contacts spanning for 7 years, Google AdWords account, Google Merchant Center account, Google Analytics account, Amazon Seller Central accounts, eBay account, Fulfillment Center account, UK trademark, wholesale accounts, product sourcing wholesale account with the UK company, and all supplier contacts in China, past and present. Please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price. Further details can be provided to active depositors. Robbie, can you kind of put yourself in the shoes of a buyer? And from a buyer's perspective, why do you feel that this is a business worth buying?
So there's some big shoes to fill. These buyers have got lots of money. It's a good business because it's been built from day one with passion. So it's been my main, like I say, it's been my main passion. I've always focused back on it in the end. It's almost like I don't want to say it's like my baby, because I've got a 6-month-old baby. It's nothing like that, but it's very similar to that. It's been built with the love and devotion that you expect a brand to be built with. I've built it so that I can have an easy life with it. I haven't taken on staff. I haven't taken on, well, apart from my VA, I haven't taken on, more than I can personally chew. But if you put this product and this brand with like a team, I could see it going, multi-millions. There's a particular brand in Europe which is similar. It sells lots of other products as well, but primarily it is this very similar thing. And they're a network marketing company, and they do over 100 million euros a year in turnover. So I think with the right budget, I think if you came into this business with a budget for growth, to take it from where it is now, as the most reviewed brand in this space, you've got 63,000 email subscribers, which I say is growing weekly by around 1,500. You could take it to the moon. I would. If I was a buyer, I would look at it. I think, right, this product's been going for 7 years. There's other products which have been around longer, which are doing really well as well. And it's one of those things that it will go on and on and on. You can either leave it as it is, earn the return that I'm seeing now. We've got proven marketing funnels which work, which you can continue to use. They work to this day. Today so far we're on about £1,200 in sales, and we're at 12 o'clock. So today's going to be a 2 or 3 grand day easily. If you chuck more money at it, chuck a team at it, I think it can go places.
Absolutely. I mean, you've been doing it for 7 years and the business has already been growing. It's clearly got a lot more potential. Very eager to see what comes out of it. Robbie, thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you, Jake. It's been nice talking to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I hope that you have a fantastic day.
And you, sir. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.
If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. And if you want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the listing site and want more information, become a depositor today. When you make the deposit, one of our business advisors will be in contact with you, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.